Taurus, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early February 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Taurus collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for our beautiful Taurus friends in early February? It's Aquarius season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Taurus in early February. What's the vibe? What's the energy here for our good friends? There we go. Nice and quick. I'll take it. Okay. Very dreamy, very watery, which is actually an energy that can play very well with Taurus energy. I will say that. I love the creativity. It's super dreamy and etheric, which could be good. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on in the imagination land, okay? Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the February subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have a beautiful piece of imagery here. We have this lady. Yeah, she's nude, but she's also doing some sort of like yogic pose or meditation. She's all curled up, somewhat in a fetal position. But I always think of her as if she's like meditating or going within. She's in a comfort zone, right? Because everyone knows fetal pose, that's more about like feeling safe, feeling comforted. And the beautiful etheric background, we have a clock that has numbers flying off of it. So I do think of the dream space. I think of the astral plane. I think of like liminal spaces where there's just something going on that's mental. Now that could be a very good thing. For a lot of Tauruses, this card could tell us that your imagination is heightened. Creativity, if you have the creative juices flowing, if you're having any issues or problems, you could think your way out of it in a very creative type of way. So there's a lot of benefits here. Any creative pursuit or endeavor is highly favored when this card is here. But this card can also be prone to overthink, right? That's the big but there. So just watch that you're not in the mind too much. Nothing wrong with a little bit of fantasizing or daydreaming. Nothing wrong at all. Just as long as you're not there too much, right? Now, again, this could be someone else. Doesn't even have to be you. It could be someone else you're connected to where they might be in that mental plane. Again, this also does tie to like sleep and rest. So make sure you're getting proper rest and relaxation. And most definitely watch your dreams when this card is here, because there might be some interesting messages from Spirit. So we're just going to let her keep having her moment. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say with that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. Shuffle it up one time here for Taurus. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Big spiritual energy last week. The reading was titled Karma Gets Served, and I haven't seen that show up in a reading in quite a long time. And to me, it felt like the universe stepping in to balance the scales. That was the big overarching theme, where there might be something you're going through. And again, karma getting served doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Sometimes karma will serve us up a reward. To me, it felt like the universe coming in and balancing the scales. So just know that energy could pop up this week, last week, next week. Like there's a time where it could bleed over, especially with universal energy. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Taurus to start. What do we got? Thank you. King of Swords. Structured, strategic, total opposite of what we have going on here. I don't dislike the King of Swords. It could just be a card that is a little set in its ways. Could be very particular. Let's get a couple more. Thank you. 3 swords. Yeah, this energy does not seem to be playing games. I could tell you that. So I'm not sure if this is an energy you're stepping into, if it's something like this energy is not messing around. That's already what I'm feeling. But we'll see. Queen of Wands. So a lot of other people here too. So I would watch out for this. I've been seeing this in a few signs this week. Like watch out for any like funky group things or getting pulled into other people's stuff. Because again, like I'm not getting a lot of your energy showing up here. So this could be some outside noise for some of you. But let's go through. I'll give you the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I like to look at the elements first, and it tells us how energy could move and the areas of life that could be impacted. We have a lot of air and we have fire. This isn't the most comfortable energy for Taurus, but that's okay. Remember, this energy is always flowing and moving. When I see a lot of air, this is the mind. So similar to that watery card we saw in the beginning, that was more imagination land. This one is more about practicality. When I see a lot of air, I think of practical, strategic, planned out, very intelligent, very smart. It's a great element for taking in information or searching for something and just learning about stuff. So I really like it for that. It's also the biggest suit for communication. So conversations, talks, and messages. The only downside with too much air is, again, it could lean into that overthinking. But the air energy could also be a little cold, a little detached. Sometimes it could be mean, and it could be very stern and very serious. On the back end, we have fire. So obviously, the combination, fire and air, that could be a little explosive. So that's something we want to keep our eye on as we move through the reading. But fire is the realm of action. So it's like, think about it, do it. Plan it out, make it happen. The fire is the actions we take, actions other people take. Think of passion, drive, desire, or internal motor. I say it every time we get a lot of fire. So it can be very good. It's vitality. It could speak about health as well. Energy levels. That's another thing we've been seeing here. But the downside to fire energy is the unpredictability, where it could take a left on you. It could be explosive. We already mentioned that. So, but notice we have like different people showing up. We got the fire air combination showing up. Just watch out for any like funky group dynamics or getting pulled into other people's stuff in this time. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number 1, we got the King of Swords. Now, for some of you, that could be an air sign. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And remember, it doesn't have to be gender specific. And I'm kind of happy we have the King, because I always say when it comes to the Kings, they represent control of their respective suit. So all that stuff about the overthinking and the planning and strategy. Like the King of Swords tries to keep the mind in check. So it's like, nope, I'm working on my mindset. So for some of you now, might be a good time to view things through different perspectives, or keep the thoughts straight, keep the mind straight. This is a huge card for strategy and planning, and that's been an undertone I've been seeing from all the earth signs this week, where there's like this strategic play or strategic energy in play. The King of Swords, yes, it's super intelligent, so I love the wit that's attached to it. It's like almost genius level. But the downside to the King of Swords, yeah, it could be cold. It could be an energy that's a little mean. It could be a little cutthroat or very stern and serious. So sometimes he does show up when there's something that Spirit wants you to take seriously, or there might be something serious going on. We'll just have to see. But it doesn't feel like it's messing around, especially with like the first combination, because we got this King of Swords that's looking at something. And as we get him tucked right back in here by the amethyst, we got another sword card. We got the Three of Swords. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this image before. It's one of the most iconic images in tarot, the three swords cutting through the heart. And it's a difficult card. It's one of the challenge cards, but it's not the worst, right? I always say it's on a spectrum. So this could be anything from feeling a little gloomy. You might be annoyed by something. Something could just be a little thorn in the side. It could be minor anxieties, little stresses. But it could also be big things, right? It could be heartbroken. It could be someone that's like feeling betrayed. So again, it depends on what you're going through when this card is here. So when I see the King of Swords and this card right next to it, I'm like, ooh, this energy is not messing around for whatever reason. So you might be a little more strict in your ways than you normally do. Some weeks you have a softer energy. This week, the energy around Taurus does feel a little bit more serious, a little more rigid. So we're going to keep an eye. The good thing about the Three of Swords, though, it's an energy that does pass quickly. So if it is a problem, if it is a situation, it's not permanent. It's something that does have a solution. So we're just going to get it tucked right there. Now, moving to the very back end, we have the Queen of Wands. I like the Queen of Wands. Queens represent the internal aspect of the suit. We already spoke about the fire, the action, the internal motor, the vitality. Normally, she connects to self-concept, how you view yourself, self-confidence, self-love, self-care. That's a big thing with this Queen of Wands. She can deal with aesthetics, so maybe you're changing something about your look or how you present yourself to the world. That could be a big thing with her. But it's more not so much about how others treat you, but how you treat you when this card is here. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, the downside to the Queen of Wands, she can be very unpredictable. This is an energy that can go from 0 to 100, especially with all the air right next to her. And this can sometimes be an energy that's not feeling too confident about something. So, like, there's things we need to look at here. I don't feel like all this is yours, but I want to dive deeper on all of it, Taurus. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for our friends, please? What is happening for Taurus? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation. I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the King of Swords. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Taurus, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's get this going here. Why is the King of Swords in the mix? Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this energy, it's just not playing games. Like, that's the big vibe I'm getting here. So for a lot of Tauruses in this time, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience with Tauruses because I love Tauruses and I get along very well with them. Usually Tauruses can be very patient and very kind and very understanding. But what I'm picking up this week is an energy that's just not messing around. It's not playing games. So, like, if you normally have a certain level of tolerance for BS, I do not think your tolerance is going to be very high this week. So again, watch your patience levels, watch out with friction with other people. I feel like things that you would normally be able to say, all right, I'm just going to ignore this. There's certain things you might not be able to ignore as much, where it's like, you know what, I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to attack this head on. So yeah, there could be some problems and situations here, but the main thing I'm seeing with the Seven of Swords in reverse is just an energy that's not playing games. It's like, no, game over. I played this game long enough, I'm not playing it anymore. It's like giving me that kind of vibe. Now again, I'm not saying this is someone treating you this way. It could just be your tolerance to stuff. That's another thing that we could see. Now the Seven of Swords is usually a shifty card, right? It's usually secrecy. In its best sense, it's a card that's hidden, something that's off your radar. So when I see it in reverse underneath the King of Swords, it's like nothing is getting past me. I'm not dealing with lies. I'm not dealing with BS. Like, that's just the vibe I'm picking up here, where it's like, nope, if I even get a sniff of something that doesn't sit right, there's just a very low tolerance for something here. So we're just going to keep moving forward. It is what it is. So let's go in on the Three of Swords. Yeah, like the energy has an edge to it. The energy does have an edge to it this week, Taurus. Let's go in on the Three of Swords. So why is that here? Why is the Three of Swords here? Thank you. Yeah, all right. That makes sense. So we got the Four of Cups in the upright underneath this Three of Swords, and it's like something I just cannot get it off my mind. It's like sticking under my skin, even if it's something that you would normally perceive as a slight or something that normally it wouldn't bother me this much. It's just something where it's like I can't get it out of my head. I can't get it out of my mind, and this is really bothering me. Now, again, this could be somebody else. Doesn't have to be you. But there is a problem or a situation or something where this person, they just can't let it go for whatever reason. Where it's like, I can't get it out of my mind. I just can't let it go. Where it feels a little unresolved or unfinished. That's the vibe I'm picking up. Now, the Four of Cups, not a lot of action happening with this card. And you see her. She's like under the tree having a little nap, just thinking. And normally this can be good. I will say this, for those of you that are creatively inclined, when I see the Three of Swords, Four of Cups, it's like I'm channeling pain into something creative. So again, if you are going through any tough times, Spirit might want you to channel that pain into something creative. That's a good silver lining here. But at the same time, I feel something where it's like this, I just can't let this go. Or I'm having a difficult time letting this go. So again, even though we have like this low tolerance, no BS, game over type of energy, there's still this thing that feels unresolved where it's like I can't move it for whatever reason. We're just going to keep going. So again, there could be certain things or situations that are problematic, and when they pop up, they might stick with you. Or either that or it's something that's already gone down and it's just sticking in your craw, so to speak, where it's like it's under my skin. It's like I can't help it. It's like pissing me off. Let's go in on the Queen of Wands. Let's see what the Queen of Wands has. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the super quick. Okay. All right. So we have the Ace of Cups in reverse underneath it. Watch out for miscommunications. That's another thing. Watch out for miscommunications, whether it's somebody, they're misunderstanding your actions or the things that you say. It's like the wires are crossed, where it's like, how could you get that from what I said? Or like, when someone twists your words or twists your motives, like that's how this feels to me. Not a big fan of this energy. Now, does this mean you're going to have a terrible week, Taurus? No, absolutely not. Because you know how energy could flow. It always passes at some point. But the stuff I'm picking up this week, I would try to lay low. If this is other people's stuff, I would try to lay low for a while, because like the energy, it's like, doesn't matter what you say, it's going to get twisted, or it doesn't matter how you say it, it's going to get misunderstood. So like there's this weird energy where there's like very low tolerance for BS, then this energy is like misunderstanding things. So we have the Ace of Cups. Usually in the upright, this is beautiful. It's about emotional expression. I'm speaking it, I'm saying what's on my mind. When I see it in reverse, I'm either suppressing something, pushing it down, 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 and that's only going to make someone angrier, because remember, the fire, that's, an angry person. So I could easily see this being a situation that spins a little out of hand or gets explosive due to a miscommunication or a twisting of words. So if you are in hermit mode, if you're more of a solitary Taurus, that might be a good thing this week, because I feel like a lot of misunderstanding and miscommunication and situations that could escalate 0 to 100 quickly. So there could be some explosive situations in play when I see this. So let's go through and do a quick recap. I wish I could pull more silver linings for you, Taurus, because I'm an optimist. But hey, it is what it is, right? Let's go through, then we'll get to the shadow card. But if you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the King of Swords, 7 of Swords in reverse. To me, it felt like somebody with a very low tolerance or low patience level for any kind of BS. So there could be certain things that normally you could deal with, normally you could take it, or whatever it is, where it's like, you know what, I'm not taking it anymore. To me, it feels like game over type of mode and mentality, where there's certain things where it's like, yeah, you know what, I'm not playing along with that. So again, it could be somebody else where their patience level is razor thin. Moving to the middle, I have the 3 of Swords with the 4 of Cups in the upright. Silver lining there. This could be spirit saying like, hey, if you're a creative individual, you might want to channel some sort of pain into your creative works. It's a good silver lining. And this energy here on the front end, a silver lining to that could just be seeing things clearly. So if you're looking for clarity, that's a good thing. But the main thing I'm picking up here, it's like just something that's sticking with me, where it's like normally I wouldn't hold on to it for so long, but there's just something about it. It feels unfinished. Moving to the back end, we have the Queen of Wands with the Ace of Cups in reverse. Watch out for miscommunications. Watch out for misunderstandings. Watch out for getting pulled into other people's stuff, because this could be a situation that goes 0 to 100 and gets explosive. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, Taurus. And yeah, I always like to pull one of these at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out for you. What do we got for Taurus in the shadows, please? Thank you. Nice and quick. Cool. The Fool card. Now, the Fool is usually a very good Aries card, so keep that in mind if you're connected to an Aries or have an Aries placement. Usually it's great for new things. It's very lighthearted, the opposite of what we saw in the main part of the spread. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe like whatever this is that's showing up, whether it's that game over mentality or the explosive situation, the Fool card could be an energy that lightens the mood. So hopefully that's the case. But if we're talking about the shadow side, which is kind of the point of why we're doing this, if you don't have history or a connection with an Aries, the Fool can be very spontaneous and very sporadic, and it could act before it thinks. So in this time, watch out for urges. Watch out for taking big risks and just acting before you think something through. So we're just going to put the Fool down right here, my good friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The February subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you could book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com, so we could have a little chat. My February calendar is up, so go check that out. They usually go pretty quick. But for the February subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice different style this month. We're doing a winner's choice. So the winners, which will be 3, will have their choice of the Tarot of the Owls, the Gilded Tarot Royale, or a handmade crystal pendant from my shop, mastermetaphysics.com, once again. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's two simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards we saw in this week's reading, which one caught your attention the most, whether it really inspired you or hit you right in your feelings. Anyone that stood out to you, and you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.